Hi guys, Ansharma here. So today I have created a video on the chapter 4th of class 7th science, which is the heat chapter. It is a very interesting chapter. We are going to learn a lot of things from this chapter and you are watching Little Guru. So let's start a video. So before starting a chapter, I would like to tell you that what are we going to learn from this chapter? What are the main key points? What is the content of the chapter which we are going to learn? So that is what is heat, thermometer, structure of thermometer, modes of heat transfer which are conduction, convection and radiation, conductors and insulators. Thermometers are of two kinds, clinical and laboratory thermometers. So let's start a chapter. So the first topic in this chapter, in chapter 4th, class 7th heat science is of what is heat. So heat is an energy that is transferred from one body, which is the hotter one, and to the another, which is the colder body. Uh, so this transfer is based on the principle of the difference in temperatures, as I said, that hotter and to the colder one. So if we will the hotter one will transfer its heat to the colder one. We can learn it from the example of a pan that below the pan there is flame. So the pan is colder, stainless steel pan is colder, and the flame is the hotter end. So the hotter end will transfer the heat towards the colder end. Heat energy that is transferred from one body to another as the result of a difference in temperature. How to measure heat? A reliable measure of hotness or coldness of any object is known as the temperature of that object. Uh, for measuring the temperature, there is a device made thermometer. A thermometer is of two kinds. The first one is clinical and the second one is laboratory. There is a question, um, difference between heat and temperature. So the difference between heat and temperature is that heat is a form of energy, and the unit used for measuring heat is joule and calorie. But the temperature is a reliable measure of hotness or coldness of any object, and the unit used for measuring the temperature of any object is the Celsius or Kelvin and Fahrenheit. So guys, in this slide we are going to learn about a thermometer, a kind of thermometer which is a clinical thermometer. We are going to learn what it is, what for it is used for, and what is the range of it. So it is a thermometer used for measuring the temperature of a human body, and the range of this thermometer goes from 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius, and the normal temperature of a healthy human being is 37 degrees Celsius. So now moving on to the structure of a clinical thermometer. So a clinical thermometer consists of a long, narrow, uniform glass tube, a bulb at one of its end made up of mercury. Outside the bulb, a small shining thread can be seen. So, if you are not able to see the small shining thread outside the bulb, then rotate your thermometer. Then you will be able to see. Now, I would like to tell you something about the diagram of the clinical thermometer. In this diagram, we can see a kink, this one, and this kink is over here, and it is used for to prevent the mercury level to fall from its own temperature. So now we'll study about laboratory thermometers, which is a kind of thermometer, a second kind of thermometer which is used for measuring the temperature of other objects except human beings, like we can take example of milk, tea, and the range of this thermometer goes from minus 10 degrees Celsius to positive 110 degree Celsius. And these kind of thermometers are used in the laboratories for measuring temperature of other objects but except human beings. Sometimes everybody is confused that why we cannot use laboratory thermometers for measuring the temperature of human beings too, why it is not used by doctors. So it's a very simple question, as the labor in we cannot use it, as the laboratory thermometers are having a bulb. So when we will put the bulb inside the mouth of the person who wants to take his check his temperature, then when we will take it out to check the temperature, then we would not be able to see the correct temperature, as the temperature falls rapidly when it is not in use. So we will see the temperature which is less than 2-3 degrees from the actual temperature. Transfer of heat. So basically there are three modes of transfer of heat. The first is conduction, the second is convection, and the third is radiation. So the first one, which is the conduction is used in solids, and the convection is used in the fluids, and the radiation is used in the gases. Transfer of heat. So now we are going to study the definitions of the three modes of the transfer of heat, the three modes of transfer of heat with their definitions. So the first one, which is the conduction, the process in which heat is transferred from the hotter end to the colder end of an object by direct connection, is known as conduction. So it is based on the difference in temperatures of two objects, as we can see, hot from the hotter end to the colder end. So the hotter end and the colder end, it is there is a difference in temperature of both of these. So this is the reason why the heat is transferred from each other, from between them. The second is convection. Heat convection is a mode of heat transfer by the mass motion of a fluid such as air. So in the heat convection, the uh, heat is transferred on the base of difference in densities of two objects, different densities of two objects. And the third is radiation. So radiation is the transfer of heat energy from a hot body to cold body by by the mean of heat rays, without and it can work without any medium required, and this process is used by a sun to provide heat to us. So guys, now let's learn what are conductors and what are insulators. So conductors are the objects which are good conductors of heat, are known as conductors. So basically the objects which allow heat to pass through them are called conductors. And examples are copper and aluminum. So if we take an example of a stainless steel pan, so if we can see that the stainless steel pan has a copper provided below, on the lower part of that. It is there, as copper is a good conductor of heat. So copper will make the heat transfer faster. And the next one is insulators. So the objects which are poor conductors of heat are called insulators. So these kind of object does not allow pass heat to pass through them, and the examples are water and air. So In today's chapter, we learned about heat, how to measure heat, clinical and laboratory thermometers, structure of clinical thermometers, and transfer of heat. And we also learned about conductors and insulators. At last, I would like to thank you for watching my video, and if you like to see more amazing videos like this, kindly subscribe my channel. And go to my channel. There are videos of 6th class too. Ansharma signing out.